Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back outside in Midnight Mountain just because, well, I had to end the previous recording session to go and do a different thing, and you can't really quit inside a level, you can only save and then turn off the game, and that just feels wrong to do, so I had to leave next to the hub and then select quit game. So this just gives me an ample opportunity to show off how Atlas warping works. So, Super Bonus World, we're more than halfway done with the Super Bonus World, by the way, and just press square and shalazity boom, you just get warped to a place. This is the screen you see us. You get the adventure continues for some reason, and with that, we're plonked back in the Super Bonus World, and we are up to the third trial, which, like, progression here, don't forget, is measured by how many gems you have. And since we have enough gems to open the third door, we don't need to worry about redoing either of those, because the only prize was treasure, and we've got their treasure, and that's how progression is tracked, and I'm just talking in circles. So, what's behind door number 3? Trial number 3, of course, and what is trial number 3? Well, the fucking sheep sources, of course. We have a super flame. No, it's a second for not Avalar. You know what, I could just title this episode that, but we're gonna do more than just this. So yeah, just, there are 7 sheep sources. That thing on the right, the timer, it does tick down slowly, but it does tick down. You have a finite amount of time to destroy all 7 of the sleep sources, and the fireballs don't home, but the sheep's hitboxes are relatively generous. Like, I'm sure I saw a little bit of a swerve just then. I think I want to say they can fight back. Like, there's a little bit of auto aim, but not much. So I believe it's either straight away, or once you've defeated a certain number of them, the sheep sources will start firing back at you like they did back in Mushroom Speedway. So this is the one thing that, like, this area has in common with... Oh my god, there is so much aiming on this. There's not usually. But yeah, most of this game... most of this world has a lot in common with Lost Fleet, but in this instance, this is more like Mushroom Speedway, except it's Spyro doing it now instead of Hunter. And where is the last one? Also, I did this a lot more quickly than I thought I would. And sort of now relying on the final trial of this area taking longer than I thought. Because, okay, so here's the thing. This is the penultimate trial of yeah, there we go, Super Bonus World complete. 5,000 out of 5,000. This, I remember this taking a lot longer than it did as a child, so that's trial number 3, defeat the sheep sources, get the last gems, the nice clean 5,000. Like, I mentioned this on a stream last week, but like, we have a word for hundo, why not thouso? So, the final door. Any guesses as to what it could be? I'm gonna burp in and walk through my own burp. You can't even stop me. Surprise! Bianca, please explain. Bianca, explain!
I don't know how she did it, Spyro, but the sorceress must have survived that last battle. She's been waiting here all this time, saving up her magic to destroy you. Your best chance to defeat her is to borrow my flying saucer. I've cast some spells on it to give it extra firepower and unlimited flying time, but the rest is going to be up to you. You've come this far, Spyro. I know you can beat her.
Implying that flying saucers ever had a limit to their flight time. So, I believe the goo is insta-death. It is possible to beat this boss in under a minute. I've fought it like once in my life, and like a speedrunner would have got her down to half health by now. And she could also fire, so, you know, we have unlimited firepower, but so does she. She takes longer to charge it up, and of course she has a lot more hit points. We only have as much as Sparks can tolerate, and I believe the goo is insta-death. Where's she even gone? Am I going to suffer because oh, there she is. Now apparently, in Spyro Shadow Legacy for the DS, there is an enemy called the Sorcerer. No relation to the Sorcerer's family. Oh good, mutually assured destruction, my favourite kind. Hey, there we go, we've finally broken the seal. And by seal, I mean the lizard lady. Now, she is undoubtedly the most evil, most brutal, most unforgivable villain from the Spyro series. But she is the cutest. Like, Nasty Dork is kind of brute-looky. Brute-looky, that sure is the word. And Ripto's just, like, ugly, but, like, villain ugly, so, like, it's to be expected. And the Sorceress is just, she cute. Really? I was turning away from that. I turned a full 360 and wound up back in its path. I'm good at this. Well, like I said, I've never had a chance to practice this. So just keep close and make little dodgies and hit her from behind. Have you seen how she looks in the Reignited Trilogy, though? Like, possibly one of my favourite redesigns, because I've not seen much of the others, but Ripto is especially ugly in the Reignited Trilogy, but, like, good ugly? Like, well redesigned to re-encapsulate how he was supposed to look in the original. Down to the last hit. Clearly, we will both kill each other at the same time. Can I please unsuffering? Nope, I cannot unsuffering. Instant death. I bet I'm never going to get that far into this. And again, we start on one fewer than maximum health, and there's no health pickup things in the super bonus round. So I bet I'm never going to get that far again until 57. Why is 57 the number I keep coming back to? However many, it's going to take a butt ton of attempts just for me to get back to where I was. Like, you can beat this boss in a minute. That's what patronizes me the most here. Yo there, post-commentary Tess here. I was going to cut these reattempts of the fight out, but actually this second attempt ended up being my successful attempt, spoiler alert, so I might as well leave that in and take this opportunity to talk about some of the cheat codes in this game, which I didn't really have the opportunity to show off, and that's continuing to be true here. So, amongst others, well, for one, there's that cheat code I mentioned back in Lost Fleet that changes your skateboard back and forth between being a skateboard and a squid. There are other cheats as well, including ones that modify how Spyro looks, and I tried, and for the life of me I could not get them to work, which is so annoying because I know I've made them work in the past. Well, the internet seems completely agreed that in order to change Spyro's colour, you have to pause the game and press up, left, down, right, up, square, R1, R2, L1, L2, up, right, down, left, and up, followed by down to turn him black, X to turn him blue, triangle to turn him green, square to turn him pink, circle to turn him red, and up to turn him yellow, and if you want to reset him to his natural colour, then end the code with left instead. So each one that I just listed, you put at the end of the code to change his colour. I tried that. I could not get it to work on recording. I don't know why. I know it works. I've done it before. Other codes include giving Spyro a big head, which is achieved by pressing up R1, up R1, up R1, and then the circle button 4 times, and that'll just give Spyro a big head, and that can be turned off by repeating that code. And to turn him 2D, like he looks completely fine from the side, but then front on he's flat as a sheet of paper, which again, I couldn't get this one to work on recording, and I don't know why, because I know it works. That's left, right, L1, R1, L1, R1, square, circle. There's also ones for listening to all of the voice clips in the game and watching all the FMV sequences. Are they even FMV sequences? Well, I'm getting off topic. Honestly, you can find a list of all these cheats online. I wanted to show them off, and the game simply won't let me do that, so I'm afraid all I can do is tell you about them. Anyway, that's all I have time for, because I'm about to beat the sorceress, so back to live commentary Tess. Oh, or I could just do it on my second attempt, taking no hits until right at the very end. Well, this time she's dead for real. Not even spoilers. And yin yang. Or is it yin yang? Or is it yin and yang? Precious! The Jared Leto twins. And before Zoe can even zap us, we get the end in just block capitals. So that was fun. Could have done this in the last episode. I had to stay quiet for that. And we get the credits a second time because sure, why not? So that's it. That's the entire original Spyro trilogy completely done, dusted, and before the Reignited Trilogy was released. I didn't even know I would be against the clock when I first did Spyro 1, but in keeping to my Tessex tradition of don't play sequels until a year has passed, I've managed to get through all 3 games as Let's Plays on this channel, and that's it, 100% completed all of them. This is such a good trilogy, there's not much else I can say that I've not already said. It's the cornerstone of my childhood, it's glorious, it has its flaws. As I said, Spyro 1 is the base Spyro experience, Spyro 2 is that plus story, Spyro 3 is Spyro 1 plus gimmicks. You know, you've got the animal friends, you've got the speedways that have been fine-tuned to fuck. So, like, this game has the best speedway levels in terms of what a speedway experience should be in a Spyro game, for instance. And just, this is a good game, and I highly recommend it, and I hope, beyond all hope, that the Reignited Trilogy does it justice. There's no reason why it wouldn't, except, honestly, I'm not a fan of the new art style. It looks too much like Skylanders doing a cover of this game. Like, in the same way that you know, an artist can do a musical cover of a different song and they'll reinterpret it in their style. That's how I feel the Reignited Trilogy is of this. It doesn't feel faithful to the original. It feels like Toys for Bob's interpretation of the original, which isn't necessarily bad. I just think it looks a bit it looks cartoonier than I personally would like, but they're remaking the games for modern systems, and I can't really complain about that. So hopefully the remakes do them justice. I'm hoping as well that the remakes put stuff in that was cut from the original without cutting anything out for this. So I want the Dino Mines mini-boss to be put back into this game, for instance, but then that would give the game a total of 151 eggs, and I wouldn't want them to take any eggs out to accommodate that, for instance. And if they add more areas to the levels as well, because I know this is something that Nintendo Capri-Sun is a fan of as well, the idea of taking an original area and adding extra areas to it, whether that's adding a loading zone and adding a new sub-map, for instance, like A Hat in Time did with its DLC, or taking the original map of an area, let's say for instance Sunrise Spring, and just adding a new room there that wasn't there before. Say for instance being able to walk inside the cliff that the Cloud Spires portal is on top of. If they added a room inside there that isn't a loading zone, you can just walk in. That sort of thing. That sort of thing I would love for Sonic Adventure, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, all ramblies aside, amazing trilogy of games. Fourth one, I do not intend to Let's Play because that is not good. You can tell they rushed it. It might even be made by different people. I don't know. But this was a fun Let's Play. There were lots of aspects to it that I dreaded, and I came through. And so this has kind of been a really big sort of story of growth for me personally as well, because as I said, these games were my childhood. And so coming back and dreading parts because I knew how tough they were as a child, only to breeze through them as an adult, like the second boss especially, I feel so grown up. And revisiting all of these worlds, and this applies to the first two games as well as this one, it feels like coming home. You know, I was a Sega child. You know, I grew up on Sega consoles first. The PS1 was kind of also there, and then Nintendo kind of found the way in as well. So it's not as if this is where my life started, but it still entered my life early enough that it is going home. Spyro is an old friend, and I hope that I've been able to do that justice on this channel. I know the first two series that I did, especially with Spyro 1, weren't as good as they could be because my audio editing has improved over the past 3 years, and goodness knows you can actually hear the game under my commentary in this Let's Play, looking at you, Spyro 1, but I've shared my experiences and my memories through this Let's Play, and that, to me, is what a Let's Play should be. It's not just spoiling a game to make the developers lose money or any of that shit. It's not showcasing a game, it's showcasing someone's experience with a game, and that is transformative, so take your copyright and fucking shove it. So this is my experience with Spyro 3 and the Spyro trilogy as a whole, and I like being able to share all these little side anecdotes, and to an extent, I actually like the fact that I had to Let's Play the non-greatest hits version so that I can show you these things that are changed. Like, it feels more gravitous, if that's the right word. It has gravity to it when I can say, this is how it is in the version I grew up with. Here's how they improved it when they had the chance to. Because that would have less impact if, for instance, we're playing Haunted Tomb with the greatest hits Haunted Tomb music. If I were to say, oh, by the way, in the original version, this had the same music that you've already heard in Cloud Spires, that doesn't feel quite as heavy as, this is how I grew up with it, this is how they improved upon it when they had the chance to go back and improve upon it. So, I feel like I'm just going to say the same thing a third time in a row. I hope I've done the games justice, because, you know, shout out to all these people in the credits, you did good, and as I said, I hope the Reignited Trilogy improves upon it even further, because I wasn't super hyped with the name. Like, it was originally rumoured to be the Treasure Trilogy, and that made a bit more sense. Reignited sound like, people don't really use the word ignite, much less reignite, unless they're like 11 years old and trying to write edgy fanfiction, I guess. So, and it's not a criticism, it's just I would have picked a different name. Don't know what that name would have been, but I would have picked a different name. So, that's it. As you can see, Midnight Mountain, no longer level complete because we have 6 out of 5 eggs. And other than that, yeah, we've got everything. The only thing that I wasn't able to... Okay, there were 2 things that I wasn't able to showcase in full. One is Sparks' second ability from beating Bugbot Factory, because basically that just means that he can smash baskets, and I don't know if he can smash vases as well, but baskets certainly, if there are any left in the game at that point. You know, the wooden ones that you can, or wicker, whatever, the ones that you can flame. He can grab gems through those, destroying the basket in the process. I thought maybe that would replace locked, like, you could open a locked chest without having to get the key. No, that's not how that ability works. Also, the island up there, I could splice in footage now, but that would involve borrowing it from someone else, and that would feel a bit disingenuous. So, you'll just have to take my word for it. Up there are 3 extra lives. That's where the super bonus portal would originally have been. And remember when we beat the sorceress the first time that whirlwind spawned underneath us? That is the, well, I believe that's the super mega whirlwind that would have otherwise spawned in the center of this room here to take you over to that island. Like, it would spawn in the middle of this pattern on the floor, take you up to that hole in the ceiling, and you'd glide over that way. So, that's it. That's Spyro 3. I'm done with Spyro on this channel now, unless I can get some way to record Season of Flame, which even then, I'm going to leave it a while, because I've done the best of the Spyro games at the moment. I will probably stream the Reignited Trilogy if I get it on a console I can play it on, but for now, I guess we're done. So, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and I thoroughly thank you for watching this series, and I hope you'll join me for whatever my next one happens to be. See you soon, and you too, Spyro, see you soon too. Oh, by the way, this is what they call that egg in the atlas. Just woo, a secret egg. That's as enthusiastic as they could get. Okay, ending for realsies now.